Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. So welcome to the webinar. Our topic for today is turning ideas into results. So we are broadcasting from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, on this beautiful Wednesday morning, 15th of February, 2023. So let me first introduce myself. My name is Abdul Rahman Ramli from the Managers Network, the organizer of this webinar today. You can call me Rahman. I'm so glad to meet all of you, and I hope we'll all learn and gain much from the session today. Before we proceed, let me just go through some general housekeeping items to ensure the smooth running of our webinar today. Now, this webinar is scheduled for about 90 minutes or so, short enough, I hope, for you to be able to invest your time fully here. For the first 60 minutes, I shall be talking with our guest, getting him to share with us his experience and turning his ideas into results. That is the topic of our webinar today. Then for the next 30 minutes or so after that, we shall address questions from you or even listen to your sharing if you have any. So during my conversation with our guest, if you have questions to ask, I hope you could hold on to them or post them in the chat box. We'll get to those questions during the Q&A, okay? So this way, hopefully we can ensure that the session flows smoothly to cover all the important points that our guests will be talking about. And not to worry, even if you still have questions to ask at the end of the whole session, we shall provide you our contact numbers and email addresses so that you could still communicate with us. And we'll do our best to respond to you after this. So will there be questions from you before we proceed? Well, I guess not yet. Huh? All right, let's get on with our webinar. The topic of our webinar today is turning ideas into results. Now, in our everyday work as a leader at the workplace or even at home, all our effort and hard work, I believe, is geared towards achieving one thing only. That is to get results. So if you're in sales, for instance, you would want to get that sales target. If you're in production, your goal is to achieve that production output at the right time, with the right quality. And if at home, maybe one of your goals is to have for yourself, is to go for the dream vacation you've always wanted. Yeah. But evidently, to get all these goals, you can't leave things to chance. You need to have a plan. And it is hard work to come up with a plan. Even so, I believe it's even more challenging to work on the plan day in, day out until you make it. And many failures to achieve goals have been attributed to the letdown in implementation. There could be many factors that can get in the way. For instance, the hiccups in manpower, equipment, or even supplies. So it's very critical for us leaders to ensure that the implementation of the plan is as good as the plan itself, if not better. Now, sharing with us today on this topic is a leader entrepreneur who is running his own business now, offering health and organic food products. He is a mechanical engineer by qualification, actually, and has worked in various organizations before this. A notable one was a large automotive company dealing with a very well-known Japanese brand. He served initially in the after-sales area, moving to quality assurance after that, and then finally to accessory fitments. And then about 5 years ago, in 2018, he decided to become an entrepreneur, and that's what he is now. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to introduce to you my good friend, Mr. Muhammad Anwar Mustafa. Anwar, welcome to the webinar.
Thank you, Rahman. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all. Thank you again, Rahman, for inviting me to the Leaders as Coaches webinar. Okay. A little bit more about myself. Actually, I started my first career as entrepreneur, running a computer sales and services business together with my friends after we finished our bachelor's degree in engineering. And I was there for about a year. And later on, I worked as a trainee operation manager for a contractor of Telecom Malaysia, also for about a year. Then I moved on to another company, which is a supplier to the automotive company. The company is supplying wire harness to Proton, Toyota, BMW, and few other brands. I spent my time about 1.5 years in the company. And after that, I moved to UMW Toyota, which I spent almost 17 years with UMW Toyota. And in 17 years, I basically served the company in 4 different divisions, mostly on the after-sales technical and warranty, quality assurance, and also accessory fitment. I learned a lot in Toyota, and it was a precious moment of my life. I need to acknowledge that. The way I think, the way I do things are very much influenced by the Toyota way, Toyota principles and practices. Okay, talking about Toyota way, maybe some of you are not familiar with Toyota way. So I would like to share a brief explanation of Toyota way so that we can benefit from it. Toyota way, basically, it consists of 2 main pillars. The first one is continuous improvement, and the second pillar is respect for people. So under continuous improvement, there are 3 main items. The first is challenge, second is Kaizen, third is Genchi Genbutsu. And under pillar of respect for people, the first one, of course, the respect itself, and the second is the teamwork. So I would like to briefly explain each of them. The challenge, Kaizen, Genchi Genbutsu, respect, and teamwork. Because when we do things, basically this is our base, the guide that we have when we are doing things. So on the challenge, we always challenge ourselves to improve, to do things better, to find a better solution, to make the job more efficient, to make it easier to be done, and reduce the mistake and so on. That's on the challenge. And on the Kaizen itself, we need to always improve the process, the job that we are doing. So that on the Kaizen. And on the Genchi Genbutsu, maybe most of you are not familiar, or maybe some of you are never heard of this word. It is a Japanese word. So some people also call it as Gemba. Gemba is also a Japanese word. And on the translation, the simple translation, Genchi Genbutsu is go and see. We go to the place and we see. So that is the brief of it. But the actual meaning of Genchi Genbutsu is deeper, wider. In brief, it is we go to the place, we go to the process, we observe the process, then we find if there is any problem with the process, then we find the root cause and also the solution to the process. That's on the Genchi Genbutsu. And the number 4 is respect. Respect. In everything we do, we need to have respect to people, whether the guy or the person is a janitor, a tea lady, the bosses, the suppliers. We need to have respect to them. And the respect is basically a common sense. Everybody should have this sense in order for us to get together with people and also to grow. And the last one is teamwork. Everything we do, we should put the team objective as the first priority. It's not the personal objective, but we need to put the team, the organization objective as the first priority. Okay, that's on the Toyota way. So we come to the last part of the question, where you asked me, Chiraman, about the how I ended up being an entrepreneur. Basically, everyone has their own dream, life objective and goals. So to pursue my dream, my life objective and goals, so I made a decision to quit my 9-to-5 job and run my own business. I started to become a full-time entrepreneur in 2018. during the initial stage, my intention was to focus only on online medium for sales and marketing. However, after a few months running the business, I noticed the business model by focusing only on online may not be able to sustain and grow my business. I'm talking about the business that I'm doing, which is selling organic and health products. So I changed the plan and opened a physical outlet while still maintaining the online channel. And Alhamdulillah, the business expanded and at a good pace until COVID-19 and MCO enforced in March 2020. Okay, so the new challenges surfaced, and nobody ever imagined the impact and magnitude of the COVID-19. So frankly, at the moment, at this stage, I'm still recovering from the impact of MCO. Now currently I am pivoting my business strategy and also tapping into new opportunities. Yeah, that's about it, Rahman. Thank you.
Thank you, Anwar. Wow, that's a long time in Toyota, first and foremost. Yeah, and you were sharing about Toyota Way. So you are now what, Anwar Toyota Way, already converted into a Toyota person with all those Toyota Way terms and phrases. Kaizen, Gemba. I remember last time people were saying, let's go to Gemba.
Yeah.
Let's go to Gemba. I mean, go and see it for ourselves rather than hear it from the people. Stay at the office and hear it from the people. Yeah.
Right.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that sharing. Let's go to my next question. Now, in your experience as a leader working in organizations such as the automotive company you were in, and now as a leader of your own business, what is that mindset that you must have to make sure that you could effectively bring in the results?
Okay, being a leader in a big organization such as Toyota as compared to small business or organization is different in terms of the way we are doing things. However, even though we are doing things on a different way, different method, but the mindset that we need to have will always be the same. So regardless whether we are a leader at home or the leader to our team or the leader at the office or at a bigger scale, maybe the leader for the state, for the country, the right mindset and attitude are essentials. So we might ask, what are the attitude or mindset that we need to have? The mindset, basically the mindset that we need to have, the one that we need to have is to complete the task, to achieve the goals and results for the benefit of the people, benefit for the team, for the organization, and for the country. That is the key for the success of our plan. Okay, so as a leader, we need to have the growth mindset. Growth mindset meaning we need or ready to embrace challenges, willing to make a mistake and learn from the mistake and take the mistake as our experience. And we also need to continuously learn new things because everything goes very fast nowadays with the technology that we have, and we must be dedicated and hardworking. And besides that, the other mindset that we need to have is the ability to adapt with the changes. For example, I would like to share my previous experience on the mindset to change, the willingness to change. I take example during my early years in Toyota. During the time I was in charge on the warranty. I was in charge on the warranty training, warranty processing, warranty submission, and so on. So while doing the job, I noticed there are things that we need and we can improve. So I suggested the idea to my boss. Basically, the idea was to change from manual processing based on the documents that we receive to online processing. So I suggested to my boss, he is a senior guy. The good part is he is open to the changes. So he supported my idea. Then we worked together. Then we managed to change the practice that has been in place for so many years to a new system that give a better benefit to the organization, to the company, and to the people that are involved with the process. So that is on the mindset or ability to change with the latest requirement or needs. And the other one is we also need to have this problem-solving skills. Problem-solving skills. For example, again, during my time in Toyota, there are a lot of initiatives introduced by the management. For example, they introduced a bigger scale activity, the QCC, Quality Control Circles. They also introduced something that at a small scale, they call it as Q&E, quick and easy suggestion by staff. And also they have something like you tell us, meaning they have medium. They create a medium for the staff to tell the management what are the improvements that can be done. It is not necessarily something big, even it is something very small. So they have the opportunity to share, to suggest to the management. And also, normally for problem solving, we'll need to have tools as well. Tools, knowledge, and skills. Normally, for us, we use 8-step problem skills of process. We use Ishikawa diagram, we use diagram, and so on. So, yeah, these are the tools that we need to have, Chairman.
Yeah, I can see that you are very much influenced by the Toyota way of doing things, huh? The Ishikawa diagram, the QCC, and all the stuff. Okay, I just want to touch a little bit on the willingness to change. That what in your mind is that thing that you have to have for you to be able to change, to willing to change? What's one important thing?
Okay. We need to be open. The openness of our mindset. We must be willing to listen to others. We need we be willing to listen to our colleague, our subordinates, and of course our superior. So the willingness to listen to others is, to me, is the key for the ability to change. And also for ourselves, based on the input that we have, we need to do our self-study as well, because not everything that we receive are good in a big picture. Maybe it is good based on the 1% point of view. So we need to do further analysis, further study, further research to get more information. Yeah.
So you one of the things is to talk to the team, maybe, to get more ideas.
Yes, right.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So moving on to my next question. You know, when you are developing the plan for the goal that you have, what are the important aspects which are critical that you need to put into that can maximize the likelihood of you achieving the results?
Okay. I strongly believe on this, what we call as ASK, ASK. This concept, I'm very focused on these 3 items when doing something. ASK is ASK. ASK is A is attitude, S is skill, and K is knowledge. So these 3 are very important when we are doing this. But the most important one is the attitude itself, because it is something like mathematics. If something multiplied by 0, it will result 0. Anything multiplied by 0 will be 0. So A is like attitude is like something that representing the 0 itself. So whether we want to keep it as 0 or we want to increase it. So if we increase, then the result will be better. I hope you understand my point. Meaning everything we do, the most important point is attitude. So we need to have a good attitude, positive attitude, beside the skills and the knowledge. And of course, besides that, we also need to have sufficient and proper equipment and tools. This is more important when we are dealing with something related to technical job. For example, like fixing a car or fixing a broken machine. With knowledge and skills, but without equipment and tools, the correct equipment and tools, we cannot do the job properly. It may take longer time. It may cost us a waste of time, or it can cause to the secondary damage and so on. And another related to attitude, another thing that we need to have is that positive thinking. We need to be positive in everything we do. And there are two core points that, based on my observation, if somebody has these two senses, they will perform better. They will achieve success in life and also in career. The first one is sense of ownership, and the second is sense of urgency. So these are the two important senses that everybody should have. And we as a leader, we need to ensure and to educate, to cultivate these two senses to our team, to our subordinates. Okay, Chairman.
Yep. Very interesting about ASK. I've never seen it or heard that you could use that way. Meaning to say, attitude, skills, and knowledge. The mathematical power of that is that if attitude must be more than zero, isn't it? If it's zero, if you have the skills, if you have the knowledge, you multiply by that zero, it becomes zero for the whole thing. But if you put it as one, then you get at least a one time the size of it. But if it's 2, 3, and 4, then you get more than that, right?
Yes.
I didn't realize. I mean, I can use this in my trainings and initiatives for that. You don't mind if I use that idea?
Okay, Chairman, to share with you, this is something that I learned from Toyota.
Okay.
Yeah, my boss shared this formula with us. But I modified a bit of the formula. If not mistaken, the original formula was SKA, skill, knowledge, and attitude. But for me, I changed it to ASK so that we can remember easier. So everybody can easily remember the terms.
Yeah.
King. So we ask ourselves whether we have sufficient knowledge, skill, and we have the right attitude or not. So it's like asking. So that's how I put it.
Yeah, this reminds me also in those days when we're trying to recruit people. We're saying seldomly we get a perfect candidate with all in there. So most of the time there will be, lacking in this area and that area. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned with my people next time, the first thing we look for is the attitude. Skills and knowledge, you can build it, you can learn, but attitude, if it's not there, it's not that it cannot be changed, but it will take a long time to do that. Yeah. Yep. Thank you for the sharing. By the way, for the participants audience here, if you have questions to ask, you can please hold on to it or put it in the chat box, and we'll address the questions at the end of this conversation, hopefully after maybe another 30 minutes or so. Yeah, thank you. All right, let's get on to the next question, Anwar. When you're building the plan, action plan, or game plan, or business plan, whatever you want to call it, what kind of a structure or framework do you use to make that plan strong and complete?
Okay, I believe most of us know about the common phrase that being said by people: if you fail to plan, meaning you plan to fail. Actually, this word comes from Benjamin Franklin. So basically, we need to have a plan, and the plan should be developed in a structured way to have a framework. to make it works. Okay, the plans should be documented and should be accessible and visible to all stakeholders. Not only accessible, but also visible. Because if accessible, but people are not accessing, then no point. But if we put it as visible, then there is less effort for us, for us to notice and to take action. Okay, so besides that, we also need to have a periodical review of the plan to identify the challenges and also confirmation that we need to have. So basically on the framework or on the structure of planning, the basic method or tools or system that we use, normally people are using something like Gantt chart. Gantt chart to put on what things that need to be done by who and by when to be completed and so on. And on a bigger scale, okay, for this session, basically, if I share something, I mostly relate with my experience with Toyota, because as what I said, I learned a lot in Toyota. And I appreciate the knowledge, the experience I have, and I am very happy to share the knowledge and experience with anybody that wanted to know about it. So basically, again, I would like to relate how we do things, how we do a project in Toyota. So beside the one that I mentioned, like Gantt chart, it is just a small portion of the process or the activities that we have. I give example when we are doing something. For example, if we want to introduce a new model, then I can say all parties, all departments were involved on the preparation. So in order to ensure it works smoothly by all the members, by all the departments, and we get the support, the full support from the management, we create an Obeya room. Obeya room, or some people call it as war room. So this is where we put on everything that related to the project in the room. We put on the schedule, we put on the activities, and along the way we have review. We have review with the top management. We have review with the team at the departmental level or at the working level. And the frequency of review will be different. For working level, it's more frequent. With the top manager, maybe every month and so on. It depends on the project itself. So that's how we do this. So we put on everything in Obeya room, so it is visible to everybody. Everybody will know what the other colleagues or team are doing. So if they are facing problem, then we know whether the problem will impact us or not. So that's how we do things. We visualize. So visibility is one of the key points. And another point that we need to consider is on the why setting the objective of or the goal of the project that we are doing. We need to have tools and to ensure that the objective, the goal, to be a SMART goal. SMART goal, I think most of us are familiar with this term, SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And some people, they extend this SMART to be smarter. So they add on the ENR, S-M-A-R-T plus ENR. E is stands for evaluation, R is for revision. I think the smarter target or goal is actually more relevant and realistic, because when we are doing something, we might be facing some issues, some obstacles. So based on the obstacles, we might need to do some tuning on the goal objective that we plan. It is not a big changes, but some tuning to be done. And also, if we have a team, we assign them to do something. We need to evaluate the performance along the way. If not, there are a big chances of delay and diversion of the activities in the project. Okay, I think that's my comment, Ramat.
Thank you. Thank you. So there's need to make it visible. So I guess that what you call it, the Obeya room or the war room It's where you put up the plans on the wall or on the chart or whatever, and then people come, even the management come and have a look at it and give their comments or criticism or whatever. Then you make changes to it, and that's a constant or rather continual review of the plan as you go along. Is that it? Yeah. And smart goal is not enough, huh? It has to be smarter goal. Right, thank you. If in the current context where we are more into virtual, what could be a way of sharing all those to make it visible, the plans visible? How do you do it anyway?
That's a good question. Relating to the current technology that we have, actually the jobs are becoming easier. I don't have much experience on the corporate world while we are facing MCO, but most of us are working remotely, so we are using online. However, for myself, I do use tools that are currently available. There are a lot of tools that we can use to, not to say replace, but something that we can duplicate. Example, what we say as Obeya. We can have something that we can duplicate from physical Obeya into virtual Obeya. There are a lot of systems that we have. I give example something that I tried before, and currently some of it I still use. Online system like hold on, let me confirm. We call it as Notion. Notion is Notion.
Oh, Notion. Okay.
Yes, and this is a tool for us to it is something like integrated tools. We can put on information in the system, and we can share whatever information that we wanted to share. We can control the access to the information that we share, and we can put on categories and so on. So there are a lot of tools that are available at the moment. Another tools that I am still using also, we call it as Nifty, NIFTY.PM, Nifty.PM. This is something like project management tools, but inside there you can have something similar to Gantt chart and so on. So talking about the technology, there are a lot of technologies that we can use nowadays that can make our job easier.
I see. Okay. Probably I could learn a thing or two from you about how to use that, because sometimes you can. For me, sometimes it can be quite overwhelming also because of the availability of tools here and there. It's not so easy to master it, shall I say. Even if the normal ones like people talk about Google, for instance, they have their ways of sharing. There are so many apps in there that it takes time for you to learn those things. And then there are others also. I don't know. The latest one I hear is people talk about Calendly, a calendar of some sort to share about plans and things like that. So these are the tools available out there nowadays, virtual sharing. All right, yes. Thank you. Okay, I think this is my fifth question to you already. I'm sure that when you are, implementing a plan, executing a plan, there could be along the way there could be, challenges that could disrupt the implementation of things such as sudden deficiency in manpower, for instance, or equipment downtime or delays in supply, blah blah blah. Now, how do you manage this or prepare for these challenges so that they may cause a minimum damage in the future?
Okay. For this one, basically, the first thing is we need to have to equip ourselves to equip ourselves and also our team with the knowledge, the right knowledge and the skills, so that when something happens, we know how to proceed, what to do next. And basically, we need to go back to the basic. We need to, first is to identify and acknowledge the problem. So if we acknowledge the problem, then we can proceed to the next step, which is to find the root cause. Okay, after we find the root cause, then only we go to the action, the countermeasure, the field fix. So the fix or the fix, how to fix the problem. Fixing the problem with the countermeasure are different. Fixing the problem is we solve it when it happens. Okay, it is something like a short-term action. But besides that, we need to also have countermeasure. Countermeasure is something that we need to have in order to prevent the problem from recurrence. And there is something extra, and some people forget about this one, which is another practice that we had before. We call it as Yokoten. Yokoten is something like we standardize the countermeasure to related processes throughout the organization. So Yokoten is we take the best practices and implement to other areas, within our organization.
That's another, sorry, that's another Japanese term, is it?
Yes, another
term.
And practice. So as I mentioned, Yokoten is like something like standardized or a best practice implementation. So that's basically that what we need to do.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm just relating sometimes to my issue, my personal problem that I had in the past, where I want to stop smoking. I smoked some years ago, many years ago. I wanted to stop smoking, but one of the challenge that I have when I stop smoking is that when I meet friends, smoker friends, they will give you one cigarette and very, very, very hard to refuse. So I was telling myself when I was, about to into that process of stopping smoking, how do I handle this when I meet my friends? I don't want to hurt your feelings, but yet I don't want to take that cigarette, but I'll be tempted to take that cigarette. So I need to be doing something now to prepare for that. That was my experience with going through a process of change last time. Anyway, yeah, thank you for sharing another Toyota term, Yokoten, standardized thing, so that then in the future you follow that same process, and the likelihood of getting into some trouble later on is very low. Right? And if it happens again, then you review that and you standardize again, and so on and so forth. Wow, right. Interesting. All right. Okay. Let's go to my next question about, which I think is something big that each one of us has when we're going through some process change or some plan. So like it or not, each one of us here have our, what do you call it, inner struggles, or some expert call inner game of some kind that we must deal with, especially when we're embarking on something new in life. These are things like the fear. You have a fear of doing things because of your fear of failure, or even sometimes people say fear of success. Then you also have self-doubts, or you also have a lack of confidence. And in your case, I wonder if you have this, and how do you manage this?
This is a very interesting topic, whether we realize it or not. Actually, many people are facing this issue. Something that I learned recently, we call this as imposter syndrome. Oh. It is perceived fraudulence in the form of self-doubt, afraid of failure, personal incompetent feeling. Yeah, it's the feeling of incompetent. It is not you are incompetent, but you have the feeling of incompetent. So if we do not manage this properly, it may lead to a bigger problem to us, we might be facing the lack of confident feeling. So we are not confident when we are doing something. That will cause us to be stressed, and to be worse, we will have something like anxiety or depression. So to share, okay, when I involved in this organic and health food industry, the main product I have basically the olive oil, pomegranate juice, honey, and so on. So some of my customers, they are facing depression. They have something, maybe we call it as GERD. GERD is one of the symptoms of depression. That's something that I learned based on my experience recently. It started with a GERD. People start to have this GERD issue. Then actually, most of them are facing depression. So if we are not controlling this imposter syndrome, that can cause us a bigger issue. So we need to be able to control ourselves, to gain confidence, and to know why this thing happened. So something that I can share on how to overcome this issue is, maybe the first one, we need to learn. We need to increase our knowledge on the things that we are doing. So that's how we equip ourselves to be more confident. Okay. Nowadays, there are a lot of ways to learn, whether it is free or paid, whether it is online or offline. For online, there are a lot of platforms that we can go to find the courses that related to our job, our interests, and so on. For example, like Udemy, Coursera, Skillshare, and so on. They have paid and also free courses. There are abundant of courses that we can explore. Okay. Second is we need to back to the basic. Back to the basic meaning we need to know the reason why we are doing something. What are the objectives that we have when we are doing something? So if we know the reason, we know the objective, and the objective and the reason are good for us, to our family, to our team, to the organization, then we need to proceed. We need to ignore all those feelings. And the third one, maybe what we can do is to identify the root cause, why we have such feeling. So again, if it is because, yes, true, we are lacking some knowledge on that, again, we go and get the knowledge. And if we find out, oh, the root cause is just our self-doubt, we have the knowledge, we have the skill, we can do it, then we just ignore. We know, okay, this is just my doubt. So I don't have to burden myself with the doubt that I have. So we just let it go. Okay. The third one is, I think this is more practical and more efficient. We need to approach somebody that we can talk to. Maybe our life partner, our colleague, our boss, our team. Or maybe we can go to a mentor or coach. So that is the way that we can have, or we can take to overcome such feeling. So since we are talking about this imposter syndrome or self-doubt issue, I would like to touch a little bit on the opposite character or mindset or feeling that people also have. Some people have imposter syndrome. Some people, they have another issue, which is also need to be tackled, which is the overconfident. Overconfident, or some people call it as a Dunning-Kruger effect. So you can Google. I'm not the expert on this matter, but they call it Dunning-Kruger effect. This feeling, basically, the feeling of they are good in everything. Okay, they are good in everything, so they do not want to hear, do not want to listen to other people's opinion. So they are not open to accept to opinion, to suggestion, and so on. They might have difficulties dealing with their colleague, with their boss. So because they think they are good enough, So this also needs to be tackled. And as a leader, we need to identify our subordinates, whether they have any of these two issues. Then if they have, then we need to guide, educate them to overcome those issues. Thank you, Jamal.
I see. Okay, that's the need for a balance between that imposter syndrome that you're talking about and that Dunning-Kruger effect, which is the opposite probably. And do you need to be a psychologist of some sort to do this?
It depends on the magnitude of the issue. If just so-called the beginning of the or the small, just a little, it is just beginning of the issue, then we don't have to go for the psychologist. But if it is serious, especially when it comes to depression, anxiety, yes, if you come or you reach to this stage, you need to go to a psychologist.
I guess it's probably something like if you're at home with your family, children, then you would know when you want to take somebody who is ill to see the doctor, or you just prescribe some paracetamol or something, which can, just take care of it. Maybe that's the thing. But I got something about the thing you were talking about, about having self-doubts. You were saying just ignore it at one point. I think many of us are finding it difficult to ignore things like this, which is causing us fear. How do you do that, to ignore things like that?
I agree with you. Not everybody can easily ignore the feeling. That's why, as I said earlier, we need to go deeper to identify the problem. We need to recognize whether it is really a problem or not, or it is just a feeling. If it is a problem, example, lack of knowledge, we cannot do our job because we are lacking, we having insufficient knowledge. Then we need to learn. But if we have the knowledge, we can do the job. We can do it properly, and historically we are able to do it. But now we still have the feeling, we still have doubt that I may not be able to do this. I may have difficulties to do this. So in such scenario, it is the feeling only. It's not the real case. So this is the thing that you need to learn to ignore or to overcome based on the facts that you have, based on the analysis that you've done. That's what I mean by ignore. We support with something that is concrete, with data or analysis that we carried out.
I see. Okay. I mean, you need to have some level of knowledge to say whether this is just some something that I'm just too worried about. Let's just do it. Do it and see how it goes.
The knowledge or the advice is not necessarily from ourselves. That's why I said if we go to somebody, we get them to advise us. Maybe somebody says, okay, this is not your problem. The technical skill, the knowledge is not a problem. So you don't have to worry about it. It is just your. Then we have the confidence. We can gain the confidence again. Then we can resolve the issue.
So that's the strength if we are working with some mentors or consultants or coaches out there. Yeah. All right. I think I've come to the end of my questions to ask, and I want to reserve some time for the audience to ask questions too. But one last question from me would be, maybe if you have some other sharing or advice that you would have for our audience to to better turn their ideas into results that can work for them. What could that be?
Okay, this is more like summary of whatever I shared earlier. I put it in summary. Again, the first one is we go back to ASK. So we need to have the right attitude, sufficient skills and knowledge. So that's the first thing. The second is we need to plan whatever things that we want to do. And when we are planning, we need to have tools and so on. And plan without action, again, will not give any result. So after we plan, we need to take action. The difference between the success people and the other people that or the failures are the action. We can easily notice this if we go for a training or for a seminar. In some seminars, they have attendance, thousands people come to the seminar, but how many of them that really success? They gain the same knowledge, but the difference is on the action. Those that are taking action will be succeed. Okay, so the third is the action. And the fourth, if we are working in a team, in a group, we need to work as a team. We cannot just go and do things based on whatever we want to do on our way. So if we work in a team, we need to work as a team. So this is very important. So we cannot just go for our own KPI and forget about the rest. We need to go for the team KPI, for the bigger picture objective, bigger scale action. Okay, and the other one is the continuous improvement. Whatever we do, we need to always improve, find a better way, find an easier way, find a way that people, the possibility to make mistake are lesser if they are doing in a better way or in this way. So we need to always kaizen to improve the process or the way we are doing things. The other one that I think also important is the involvement from all the stakeholders when we are doing something. When talking about stakeholders, it is not only related to somebody that are same level or upper level from us. Normally, if we are doing something or doing a project, we are focusing more on the buy-off with the bosses, with the superior. But we tend to forget on the buy-in process. Buy-in process, which is to get consensus, to get the people that are working together with us, to get their ideas, their concern, and so on. So the buy-in process is also very important. And if in Toyota, they call this basically like nemawashi, involvement from all the people that are involved. We tackle everything from the root, so that when we are doing something, when we are doing some changes, we will get full support from all levels, from all people that involved. So, and the last one maybe on, we need to look also on the communication. Communication meaning we need to get everybody aware of the things that we wanted to do. We need to, communication, there are two things that we need to focus on. The first one is the communication itself. The second that is more important is the message, whether the message arrive or reach to the person that we target or not. Many people, they do the communication, but they are not checking on the understanding of the message that reach to the people. So these are the 7 items that I can summarize on the to support us how to change ideas to the result. Thank you, Chairman.
I see. Yeah, great tips. And for the audience, not to worry if you can't get all those. What we're going to do after this is we will park this recording of this webinar on our website, www.themanagersnetwork.com. You can go there and have a look and have a listen again at your own leisure time. Regarding your point just now, I like the idea about taking action. This is like, you remember those days, I mean, even nowadays people are using the term no action, talk only, NATO. So the difference between the successful person and the person who is not is that taking action, especially nowadays when knowledge and information is available out there on your fingertips. You can just go out there and get those knowledge anytime. And then meaning to say everybody has equal amount of information and knowledge, but the difference lies in taking action on those knowledge. That's where you get the results. This is what I like about your point just now. All right, Anwar, thank you so much for the sharing with all of us. There are a lot of things there. Like I said just now, the audience can refer to the recordings later on in the website.
Can I ask you something? I would like to know a little bit more on your what you are doing in your organization, the Managers Network. Maybe you can share with me and the others on your service, the things that you are doing or offering.
Well, basically, the overall thing is we're looking at leadership development. Yeah, I like to call it personal leadership development. And nowadays we are focused on new and emerging leaders, people who are, maybe the first time they become managers or becoming leaders, or even people who have been working for quite a while, but now they are not just responsible for their own role, their own output, but they're also responsible for a team of people. And these are the people who we are focused on to help. And this webinar today is also actually focused more towards that, So those new leaders or first-time managers, some people call, they can get some ideas on how to make it happen, how to make that plan produce results. So this is what we are focused on, the Managers Network focus on. And basically we're doing two things. One is training, giving the skills, leadership skills. The other one is helping people to apply those skills. Because, even from my experience last time, when we go for training, we get the knowledge, but then how to put the knowledge into practice to bring the result, we seldom get support at the workplace. And worst thing, sometimes when they go back to the workplace, we get people who are saying that forget about that knowledge and just do it the way we've been doing it, because it's a waste of time and blah, blah, blah. So the other aspect of what I'm doing is coaching, to help people to apply those knowledge through the coaching practice. And we have our own circle of coaches to help people with that. And also an extension of that is also, I do also teach the coaching skills to people who wants to be certified as coaches. To what extent? I do it for myself, and I do it for another coaching school also in Malaysia. Yeah, basically that's what we do in the Managers Network.
Okay, interesting. Thank you, gentlemen.
If you still have more to ask or comment, I'd like to share with you our contact numbers and email addresses so that you can get in touch with us on the scale. I'll put up a slide here, and you can have a look at our respective email addresses and contact numbers, and also the URL for our website. Yeah, that's it. Contact for Anwar, his phone number, email address, and mine, phone number, and also my email address, and the website for the Managers Network. And if you have if you have a phone that you can scan that QR code over there, then you have all my contacts in there, and then we can get in touch after this. All right. Nowadays you can do screenshot and all that. Not so easy. Yeah? Not like those days you got to take it down on paper and things like that. Then you forget about it. Okay, so I think yeah, we've come to the end of our session. It's our pleasure to have all of you in this webinar today. Subscribe to the website www.themanagersnetwork.com for more information about sessions like this. I hope to see you again in our future sessions. Meanwhile, take care.